Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Evening. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining. You are welcome. It's so good to be here. Please mute that. It's so good to be here. You are welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a while. We went live, but I am so excited to be here to just talk about this very important, topic. And sorry, 1 minute. Yes, welcome. Welcome, one. Any parent that is supposed to be here joining us in this conversation, please do well to get them to join us. This is going to be very enlightening, and I want us all to glean from the knowledge we're going to share here this evening. So I want you to get three other parents who should be here. Just share the link, and I want you to click on the subscribe button. I want you to share the video, share the link so that we can get more people to join. Everybody, my name is Sandra Oluwadare, and I am a parenting coach and a family system strategist. I support parents on their parenting journey. I mean, many times, even for me as a professional, right, things that are right, see how they should be parenting better and all of that. But we also do not undermine the fact that every parent needs support. There's nobody that has gotten it all together like all the time. We need to, just get support as we go on the journey. And that is one of the things that I do using my platform, Winning in Parenting, and the Winning Parents Network. I provide support for parents, helping them navigate their parenting journey so that they are able to raise wholesome, grounded, well balanced children without losing themselves. And specifically, I assist busy parents, busy professionals, high performing parents, those parents who are winning in the boardroom, they're killing it in the boardroom, but the burden of parenting is really weighing down on them hardly on the home front. And so I come in to bridge this gap, and I say, you know what, you can win at home just as much as you are winning in the boardroom or at work as well. So yeah, that is what I do, and I do this through my coaching programs. I do this through platforms like this where we have discussions, and through my and my books. So yes, you are welcome, 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 and I am so glad that you are here today. Now, okay, I'm just going to bring up my slides so that we can hit the ground running. Thank you everyone for joining. Please let us know where you're joining from. Let us know where you are joining from. Okay, can you put up my slides? All right. Thank you. Let's know where you're joining from. Okay. So yes, we have an icebreaker here. So today we're talking about helping children thrive beyond academics. I know that as parents, we are very keen on getting our children to do well academically. I mean, I am a parent as well, and that is what I want. I want my children to do excellently well academically. But the thing is, as much as we are craving for our children to do well academically, we must also ensure that they are balanced. We must ensure that we're not leaving other areas unattended to. And that is why it is important that we understand how to create that balance, that alignment, such that our children thrive academically and they are also able to thrive beyond their academics. And that is what we're focusing on today. All right. So we have an icebreaker here, and I would like to ask, and I want you to put your answers in the chat. Okay, I would need somebody to help me, pull out the responses. Yes, on YouTube. Okay, so when you think about your hopes for your child, do grades come first, or do words like happy, confident, kind come to mind? When you think about your hopes for your child, what comes first? What is it for you? I want you to leave your answers in the chat. Let's see your answers in the chat. Let's see your answers in the chat. What comes first for you? Great, or is it the fact that, oh, is my child happy? Are they confident? Are they kind? Are they balanced? What comes first for you? I want you to put your answers in the chat. Well, for me, grades are really important, right? But at the same time, we want to ensure that we're not pressuring our children to do so well in their academics and they're breaking down inside, they're collapsing inside, they're being crushed underneath, right? So this is this shows us that that balance needs to be created. That balance or that alignment where we are able to, proactively ensure that our children are not caving in inside, they're not breaking down inside, but they're thriving both ways. And this is very possible, this is very achievable, and that is what we are looking at today. So, yes, I want you to keep dropping your responses. What first parents that I talk to, deep down, what they really want for their children is to grow into good people. We love the word good. Like everybody wants a good child, everybody wants an obedient child, right? Now, for most parents that I talk to, they want their children to, grow into good people, people who are, resilient, people who are confident, people who have good social skills and all of that. And in spite of this response that I've gotten over and over again, we realize that school life focuses majorly on academics, right? And so we are going to really talk about how we as parents can nurture our children's hearts, how we can nurture resilience in them, and how we can help them strengthen their social skills. So, those are the three areas that I'm going to be focusing on because this topic of discussion is really wide. I'm going to be focusing on how we can nurture their heart, how we can nurture resilience in them, and how we can help them become empowered when it comes to their social skills, right? Because when these pillars are strong, when these pillars are well taken care of, when we are able to really solidify or build a solid foundation for our children based on these pillars, we realize that even academics will follow naturally, right? Have you not seen people who are so good academically, but they are not social, they're not able to socialize, they are not resilient, they're not confident, and all of that? So it's really not about winning in class alone. Our children can be raised to become all rounders such that they are winning both academically and in other areas as well. So moving on, um, can you move me to the next slide, please? All right. So moving on, we're looking at nurturing the heart. Remember, topic of discussion, and we're going to be focusing on the heart of the child. We're going to be focusing on resilience, nurturing resilience, and we are also going to be focusing on their social skills, how well they're able to adapt socially, right? Now, the goal of this webinar, like the topic says, is for us to have children who are well balanced, children who are thriving on both sides. This is very important. So let us start with the heart, right? Now, why does this matter? The first thing I have here is that children who feel safe and loved learn better. Remember, we're talking about how to help our children thrive beyond academics. But guess what? It still goes back to who the child is. It still goes back to what the child is made up of. It still goes back to how the child has been programmed, because all of those things will in turn uh, um, affect the academic stance of the child. So, children who feel safe and loved learn better, right? When children feel safe, when they feel loved, when they feel understood, there's something it does to their brain. Their brain looks calmer, or their brain, becomes calmer. It functions, more optimally, because I was sharing yesterday on a podcast. We were talking about what yelling does to children, and I was sharing that when children are exposed continuously to shouting, hitting, labeling, disempowering language being used on them, it activates the stress system of the body. And what that does is that it in turn raises the cortisol level. And once the cortisol levels are raised, it affects the concentration level of the child. The child is not able to focus properly. The child is not able to, just bring themselves into the moment. Most times you see them looking lost. They can be looking at you, but their minds are far away from you, right? So when children feel safe, when they feel loved, when they feel understood, their brains are calmer and more attuned, right? And their confidence also grows. They are able to learn more effectively, right? So, when we're talking about emotional well-being, we're talking about the heart state here. It's not over exaggeration. I mean, we cannot overstate the importance of the emotional well-being of our children. And so this is something we need to really intentionally nurture in our children. And then the second thing I have here, I said emotional security equals foundation for confidence and joy. A lot of parents say they want their children to be confident, they want them to be happy, to be joyful, and all of that. Sorry, it cannot happen. If the child does not feel emotionally secure, there's still going to be a gap. There's still going to be that disconnect where the child is not able to, really manifest that desire that you wish to see, because all of those desires you want to see come from a place. They just don't fall on the child, right? So emotional security is the foundation for confidence. We can't go bullying our children and saying you are not confident, you are not this and that, when we're always bad mouthing them, we're always labeling them, we're always shaming them. There's no emotional security. So where is the confidence going to come from? Because every time you engage with the child, your words, or your behavior is chipping away at the confidence of that child. So it's not going to work. There is no vacuum anywhere. As you relate with your child, it is a seed you are sowing. As we interact with our children every day, we are sowing seeds. It's either the seeds are good or they are bad, right? Their heart is the soil, their body, their temple is the soil. So as you're releasing those words, as you're treating them in a disempowering way or an empowering way, all of those things have effects, cause and effect, right? So if we truly want to see our children, manifest as children who are confident, children who will thrive, in other areas aside academics, and even in academics, we need to get ourselves ready to create an environment that will help our children be emotionally secure. There's something that I love to, just remind parents of. It was one of my mentors, that said that. He said most times parents want to see certain things in their children. They want their children to be this, but parents are not ready to be that in order for their children to become this. We see what we want our children to be. We want them to be confident, to be joyful, to be happy learners, but we are not becoming so that they can become. We need to also, there are certain things that we need to drop. There are certain things that we need to leave behind so that our children can become. This is so important. So, moving forward to the strategies that you can actually deploy to help you nurture the heart of your child, to help you nurture their emotional well being. The first thing is emotional literacy. We need to help our children name their feelings. We need to help them use the right vocabulary. There are adults today who are not able to articulate how they feel. There are adults today who are not they're not able to talk things through with people. When they're having a hard time, they're not able to talk because they don't even have the right words. They know that they are upset, but the only word, the only word in their emotional vocabulary is that I'm upset, you're making me feel bad. They can't say that I am angry. They cannot say that I feel frustrated, I feel sad. They just use one word to generalize their feelings. And this is one gift that we can give our children, to help them, to teach them to name their feelings appropriately, so that when they are expressing themselves, when they are seeking support or seeking help, you would even know how to help them. This is so important. Instead of just saying, oh, good or bad, this is a good feeling, this is a bad feeling, we can take it a step further and help them recognize that, oh, when you're feeling this way, you are feeling frustrated. When you're feeling this way, you are feeling disappointed. When you're feeling this way, you're feeling excited. Oh, you're feeling this is you're feeling really proud at this moment. You're feeling sad. Do you understand? You can say, "Oh, I see you're frustrated with your homework. Oh, I see that you're not finding it funny here because of the noise." Right? You are helping your children have the right vocabulary to let you know how they're feeling, because guess what, you will not be with them every waking moment of the day. They're going to go out, they're going to talk to their teacher, they will talk to their friends, people will ask them questions. So what's the problem, what's wrong with you? They should be able to properly articulate what the challenge is or how they are feeling. And then the next thing we want to do is to model empathy. We need to model empathy, right? Show compassion in your daily interaction. See, children would mirror us, because I've forgotten how this thing is put, but there are neurons in the brain that make them uh, um, pick behaviors, pick actions faster. Like these things register because of those neurons, they register faster in their brain instead of or faster than the words that you're saying. So while you're saying, oh, be good, don't do this, don't do that, let me tell you, even though that is really good, but the things that they're seeing you do, your actions, whether passively or actively, are being registered in their brain. They are being registered in their mind's eye, and they will effortlessly replicate those things. I believe, most of us have those children who, will mimic us. Like they will mimic you to the tiniest detail, right? I've seen a lot of children like that. Now, it's not because they were actually watching you, like actively watching you, but passively, they were taking in all of those, your mannerisms, your behavior, the way you handle situations and all of that. And you just wake up one day, you be like, "Ah, did I vomit this child?" Because they are just replicating the things that you do. So we want to model empathy. We want to show compassion in how we interact with them and with others. Children notice how we respond, even to the cashier, even to the person selling fuel at the fuel station. They notice how we drive on the road. They notice how we speak to our domestic staff. They notice how you relate with people. All of these things are taken in by them. Do you understand? And so it is important that we understand that for us to nurture the emotional well-being of our children, we must understand that empathy is something we must model. There are children today who bully others. One of the things that such children lack is empathy. They don't have empathy, right? And that is why they feel so powerful when they're making another person cry. The only time they feel powerful, the only time they feel good is when they're bossing themselves over another person, when they're making somebody feel bad, they're dragging somebody, and they're just feeling empowered by the failure of that other person. It is because one of the major reasons is because that child does not have empathy. And this is one gift we want to give our children. The third thing that will help you nurture the emotional well being of your children is connection rituals, right? What are the things you're doing together as a family? We cannot just keep going on and on like that, just living our lives, doing logistics parenting, while providing, while taking care of them and all of that. But the most important things, yeah, those logistics are very important as well. Yeah, they need shelter, they need their fees paid, they need to eat well and all of that. Good. But you see, there are other things that we cannot see. There are other things that are not very obvious, that are very critical to the wholesome development of our children. And so it is important that we take these things, we put them in consideration, we put them in our schedule. When are you having your bedtime chat with your child? Or do you send them to bed alone all the time? When are you having your gratitude circle time, where you're all coming together to thank God, just to share the testimonies and all of that? Or when are you coming together to share the down times that you experienced that month or that week? Oh, this was what happened. Oh my God. Can you hear me now? Okay, I believe you can hear me now, right? All right, all right. Sorry about that. So, yeah, so I just realized that some of my slides are not here, so I'm just going to go on. Just follow me. Just follow me, right? So, as I was saying, I was talking about nurturing, right? Nurturing. No, let me just have this here. So I was talking about nurturing the heart of your child. And I said, before we, expect that our children will thrive beyond academics, we must be ready to create an enabling environment that will help them thrive. We must be ready to put our hands to the plow to create an environment where they are free to express themselves in a respectful manner, where they are able to talk, where they are able to, even call us out when we cross the line. Because yes, parents cross the line too. Even the Bible says, fathers, was it fathers or parents? I think it was fathers. Do not provoke Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Sorry about that. The internet is dealing with me. Um, can you hear me? Please let me know so that I can go on. Can you hear me? All right, all right. So moving on to the so sorry, the slides were skipped, so I'm just going to just follow me until we get to this point. So we've talked about nurturing the heart of the child, and the second thing that I'll be talking about this evening before we wrap up is building resilience. Remember, I said on this topic we're going to focus on um, the heart of the child, which is the emotional well-being. We'll focus on building resilience, and we will also focus on, helping the child build proper social skills, right? So now we're moving on to resilience. Now, how well is your child able to bounce back from situations that are not good enough, situations that are not comfortable? How well is your child able to bounce back? Guess what? And of course, I know we all know this, right? Life at school comes with challenges as well, right? Even life in general comes with challenges, right? And then for children, they have tests to write, they have exams, they will get into, sometimes they get into altercations with their friends, sometimes there are disappointments, maybe they didn't come out with good grades and all of that. So, there are challenges as well on their path as students, right? And we cannot protect children from these struggles. Even if you can protect them from some, there are many that you cannot protect them from, right? So we need to empower them with that grit, with that gift of resilience, so that they are able to navigate even tough situations. This is so that they are able to navigate tough situations, right? So, how can you do this? How can you teach them how to bounce back? How can you teach them how to not get crushed under the weight of adverse situations? The first thing you want to do is to normalize mistakes. So I am not saying that we should just give ourselves to making mistakes all the time, every day, every time. Do you understand? But we need to teach them that, come on, if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Remember, we're talking about helping children thrive beyond academics, right? So apart from the academics, right, how are they able to keep up? How are they able to stand firm? Because guess what? It's not just about preparing your child to be intelligent academically. They need to be intelligent in life skills as well. They need to be street smart. They need to be equipped to navigate through life and thrive, because you will not be their PA for life. At some point, you give them wings to fly. They're not going to be tied to your apron strings forever. So, the best thing, one of the best things you can give to your children is the gift of resilience, like teaching them how to bounce back when things go wrong. And one way is to let them know that, come on, even when you make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. I am not encouraging you to go and be making mistakes, but guess what? If it happens, then shake your body and get up. Even the Bible says a righteous man falls, is it 7 times, but he rises up again, right? So there is no making a mistake and falling on the floor and staying down there and saying, oh, you are a failure and all of that. No, that's not what we want, right? You can even share your own story with your child. You can share mistakes, some mistakes that you have made, but ensure that these things that you are sharing are age appropriate. Remember, we don't want to overburden our children with emotional information that is not cut out for them, right? They are not our therapist. Your child is not your therapist. So That I'm saying share your mistakes doesn't mean you should not go and be telling them things that will, begin to trouble their hearts and their minds, right? Tell your child how you failed at school at one time, how you failed one subject, how they sent you to buy something and you made a mistake and all of that. What this does is that it tells your child that, oh, my mom or my dad, they made mistakes in the past, but look at them now, right? Their mistakes did not define them. This is so important. And then another thing you want to do is to mind your language. We need to be very conscious about the type of language we use. Is your language growth mindset inclined, or is your language fixed mindset inclined? There are things you say that your children are taking in. They may just be taking in those things passively. It's not as if they will come to your front like this and be listening to memorize what you're saying. It just happens, passively, and they're just sipping in your language and all of that. So if you're using vulgar language all the time, just a few moments down the line, they'll be using the same type of language. And you'll be saying, oh, don't use that type of language, but you use that type of language, right? So your language has to be growth mindset inclined. Remember, we're trying to help our children build resilience. Your language should be one that encourages your child. You're saying things like, oh, you're so smart. I love how hard you worked on that project. I love how you didn't give up, even when your Legos that you were building, they were crumbling. I love how you did not give up. You kept on trying and all of that, even though it was tough. This is teaching your child that effort is what leads to growth, not talent. Effort is what leads to growth. Please, I want you to leave your questions in the chat. If you have questions or if something stands out for you, just put it in the chat. Let's make this as engaging as possible, right? So you are teaching your child that effort is what leads to growth. Some parents focus only on the results. They focus only on the talent of the child, and they undermine or they downplay the effort. I mean, you saw that child studying for exams, you saw that child really working hard on that project, and when the results came out, the child did not do as expected. What do? Do you just start lashing out at the child to say, oh, why didn't you get this, or why didn't you amount to this and all of that? No, you are telling the child that effort does not lead to growth. You are magnifying talent, you're magnifying the results, and this cannot help your child. Effort, not talent, is what leads to growth. Effort is what leads to growth. And then another thing you want to do, which is the third thing, is to solve problems together. Don't always jump in to fix things for your child. Remember, we're talking about how to build resilience in your child. If you are always coming to problem solve for them, they will not learn anything. Trust me, one day even you yourself, you'll be tired. You'll be like, I've been training you for years. Is it that you mean you can't fry plantain, or you can't do this? You can't close the windows. Why would they close? Why would they know how to close it? When you are always jumping in to close it for them. Oh, if they close it, it will make a lot of noise. If they close it, maybe they will hurt their hand. Let the noise be made now. When they are trying to wash the plate, let them baptize the kitchen floor. Let them waste the soap. Do you understand? But that is how they will learn. If you keep jumping in to say, oh, I can do it better, I can do it faster, by the time they are 10 years old, they can't do anything for you. You will have a teenager at home and you'll be sweating in the kitchen. You'll be doing everything yourself. Or all they know how to do is to cross their legs and just roam about the house without adding value, without contributing. But that's because you caused it, right? So we must give them the opportunity to come in. We must invite them to problem solve with us. That is how they learn. That is how they grow. See, let me say something really important. It is at home that our children begin to do rehearsal for life. It is not when life is happening that they will start doing rehearsal. Okay, this person talked to me like this. Hey, how can I solve this? How can I navigate this situation? No. I know that, yes, we learn on the job as we go on, but there are basic things that children should have practiced at home. There are things that children should have learned how to do at home, how to navigate conflicts, how to, talk through misunderstandings and all of that. It is not in real life situations that they will not be looking for what to do or how to navigate. But if we are always solving problems for them, how will they try? How will they know that, okay, when I'm having a misunderstanding with this person, this is what I should do? This is something that we must really take note of and be intentional about. And then another thing we want to do is to equip our children with coping skills. Now, when they are stressed, how do they calm themselves? Most times we assume that children should know what to do. How would they know what to do? We don't do assumption in parenting. We don't assume in parenting, right? When we assume, we end up getting things wrong. We end up spoiling things, right? We need to intentionally teach our children these coping skills. We need to let them know that when you are having a hard time, or when it looks like you're not able to do well in a situation like this is what you should do. If you're having challenges, talking to this person or whatever it is, this is what you should do. If you're feeling that, oh, you're so angry and at any moment you can just do something that you won't be proud of, or you can take deep breaths, you can count 1 to 10, you can do this or that. These are things that we teach our children so that they are able to navigate situations even when we are not there. Now, we need to understand that children need to be equipped for life. Honestly, that's why when parents come to me and they're like, oh, this child and all of that, I love to do assessment. I don't assume. I will assess everything accessible, right? Because I want to know where that challenge is coming from. Because what you are complaining about is just the fruit, but there is a root that has caused that problem. There is a root that is responsible for that behavior, for that, challenge and all of that. So I like to, do those assessments so that I am able to have a good understanding of what to do. This is very important. So resilience is a gift that every parent must hand their children. It is a gift that every parent must hand their children. If you really love your child, if you really want what is best for your child, you need to give it to them. You cannot afford to be problem solving for them. You cannot afford to be jumping in to mediate when they have issues with their friends or and all of that. You are the one that will come and be doing this and that. No, 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 no. We are not raising children who you would need to be showing up to help, to bring them out of one unpleasant situation or the other. No, we raise them in such a way that they know what to do as at when to, right? And resilience does not mean that you are not going to fail at any time or you're not going to fall. It just means that as you fall or as you make a mistake, you are able to learn from that mistake, and that you have the strength, you have the inner strength, you have that inner discipline to get yourself back up, to say, you know what, I can actually keep moving on, I can continue. So I'll move on to the third one, which is the last one that we're going to be talking about today. And that is talking about the social skills, right? How can we help them grow social skills? Remember, we're talking about helping your child thrive beyond academics. It's good that they excel academically, but we must ensure that they're also able to thrive in other areas. I have seen very intelligent people, even from way back, who do so well in the academics, but they are not able to relate with people. They are not able to hold conversations with people, and that is not what we want. All right, so this is very important. How do you help your child grow social skills? Children, one of the things that make them confident is when they are able to when they are able to navigate their relationships, intelligently. They're able to navigate their relationships well. They are able to hold conversations instead of just sitting in one corner all the time. As children engage with their friends, as they talk to people, you realize that their confidence gets built up. You realize that they're able to, they just get better, right? And this even applies to us as adults. I don't know if it has ever happened to you, but if you do not speak a lot, if you don't speak a lot, you realize that after some time, when you are called up to speak, it looks like you're navigating, unsteady waters, right? That's because you've not been speaking frequently. So you can imagine a child who is always withdrawn, always keeping to themselves, they're not talking and all of that. They don't have good social skills. And so it's going to definitely affect their confidence level. So, how can you help your child? How can you help your child just nurture their social skills? The first thing you want to do is role play, right? I was saying something earlier that many times we assume that children should know what to do. No, we need to lead them. We need to lead them on. We need to let them know that this is what you're supposed to do. So let's say a child comes home feeling upset, a child comes home feeling bad about something that has happened, maybe at school or at the playground or something. Instead of just talking to the child to say, oh, this, you would have done this, you can take it a step further and do a role play. Do a role play with the child. You play the role of your child, and then let your child play the role of the other party, the person who maybe got them upset or whatever. But you always take the role of your child, and then you act out what you expect your child to do. So maybe somebody got them upset, maybe they were in a disagreement with someone, and before they came home, you can ask questions like, so how do you think your friend felt when this happened? How did you feel when this happened? Right? Okay, this was what your friend did. Your friend pushed you. Now, I'm acting as you. This is what you should do in a situation like this. So begin to come up with role play ideas. You know your child better. This is just a principle that you can apply to your own reality. You know your child better, and so you know how best they understand, you know how best you really can communicate with them. But the goal is practicing role play scenarios with your child. Don't just assume that when the boy pushed you, you should have known what to do now. You should have known how to respond. No, we need to lead them on. We need to let them know exactly what they need to do. This is so important. And then the next thing you want to do is to teach them how to resolve conflict. I'll say this again. We must not assume that children know what to do. Teach them how to resolve conflict. So, if something is happening and it is deteriorating into a conflict, is becoming a problem, what do you do? Tell your child that you need to stop first. You need to stop. You need to stop and think. You need to stop and think before taking any step. You need to stop and think before taking any step. When you have stopped, you have paused for a while, and then you thought about what happened and what you want to do, then you can express yourself. These are basic things that we can teach our children. It's a simple framework. Just teach them. Sometimes we think that, oh, it will be too difficult for them to understand. No. After this session, tell them when there's a conflict, you don't just want to jump in to start acting. Let them know that they're going to be acting irrationally most times if they go that route. What do you do? Stop first. Take a pause, take a moment, and then think about what has just happened. Think about what that person has just said, and then you express yourself. They need to understand that one of your mantras in the home will be stop before reacting. Stop before reacting. Don't just go on reacting and all of that. You need to stop before reacting. Anybody that is not able to think about what they are feeling before reacting, most times they overreact. Most times they cross the line. Most times they regret their action. And it is such a beautiful gift from us to our children to say, you know what? Before you react, you must pause to think. Before you express yourself, you must ask yourself questions. so that you don't do things that are out of place. And then you want to model respect. A lot of parents demand respect. They want children to respect them, but they don't understand that for your child to become, you also have to become. For your child to give you a particular how will I put it now? For your child to get to a particular level, you too have to move from the level that you are in. You cannot say you want to raise a honest child and as a parent, you're not honest. You cannot say you want to raise a child who is studious, a child who loves learning. Meanwhile, the child has never seen you, the child knows that you don't have a love for learning. You do every other thing well except learning. They don't see you read, they don't see you study, right? Yet you want them to have a love for learning. It can't work. So, for you to see your child having a love for learning, you need to become that person who loves to learn. And so, we must model respect. If we want our children to be respectful, we want them to respect people, we need to mind the way we speak to them. We need to mind the way we speak to our spouse. We need to mind the way we speak to our domestic staff. We need to mind the way we, just interact with people, because these things rub off on our children. So you want children to have good social skills. We have to model respect, because the way you interact with them at home is how they want to interact with people out there. If we're always shouting at them, if we're always hitting them, if we are always name calling or shaming them, that's exactly what they're going to do when they go out. And then the last thing I will talk about in this section of helping them nurture their social skills is the fact that we need to create opportunities for them. We want our children to be social and we are locking them up in their house. It cannot work. We cannot keep saying, oh, there's pollution out there. Oh, the influence is so bad. Da, 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 da. I will keep my children at home. I will lock them up. They will not do this. They will not do that. We can't, we're not raising children like that, right? We're not raising children that we're disempowering with our own hands. We need to equip them. We need to equip them and release them. That's it. Equip them and release them, because guess what? That is the mandate from God. God has said that they are light, right? They are salt, not salt of Abeokuta, not salt of Lekki, the salt of the earth, the light of the world. Do you understand? The Bible says they are not people that will be hidden under the bushel. So why are we hiding children at home? Create opportunities for them to go and mingle with people, but just ensure that the values align. Ensure that the friends that your children are keeping, the values align. But release them, equip them, and release them. That's how you will know that your parenting is really working. That's how you know that your parenting is effective, your parenting skills are effective, right? So create opportunities for them to volunteer, to help people, to join activities, group activities. Let them join the choir in church. Let them join, just let them join clubs, extracurricular activities. Just let them engage so that they will be able to apply the social skills that we're teaching them. They'll be able to apply them real time. Because if you are teaching them, then there's no place for them to practice what you are teaching them. Then in your report card, what's there? Do you understand? So this is so important. And one thing that this also does is that it helps children stay or feel connected. We need one another. No man is an island. We are not meant to live in an isolated manner, right? When we equip children with the right social skills and we give them opportunities to, just interact, we are helping them to feel connected to others, right? And you and I can tell that in these times that we're in, collaboration is a thing. Collaboration is a big deal. And so we also need to set up our children to be able to thrive in a time like this. All right, so bringing it all together, when children's hearts are nurtured, they feel safe. When they build resilience, they believe in their ability to grow. When they develop social skills, they feel confident and connected. And when they develop social skills, they feel connected and confident. Now, these three things that we have talked about today, nurturing their hearts, building resilience, and helping them develop social skills, these three things make them joyful learners. It makes them happy learners. It makes them capable learners who can thrive far beyond academics. I said something earlier. I said I have seen people who do so well academically, but they cannot talk. They cannot engage you in a conversation. They will be looking, they will be so shy. And these things start from when children are young. So I'm saying this so that, this is a new school year and we are buying books, we are getting lesson teachers, we are doing this, we are doing that, checking homework. But I'm also here to remind us that it is more than checking homework. As you are checking homework, check their mental health, check their emotional well being, check how resilient they are. As you are checking their homework, check to see that they are able to engage in conversations. This is so important. That's how you have a child that is well balanced. All right, so let's talk now. Are there specific struggles that your child is dealing with? I want you to put them in the chat. Is there anything that your child is dealing with? Are they shy? Do they fear failure? Is it conflict between your children? Just share in the chat and let's see how we can get help. I won't be able to answer here, but we are going to harvest those questions or those responses that you give, and we will put them. We'll do. I'm going to do a Q&A, right? A recorded one, just audio, to answer those questions, right? And send it out. So just put it in the chat. If there's any specific struggle that your child is dealing with, just put it in the chat. All right, let's move on. So these are the things that I want us to take away from this session today as I wrap up, right? These are actions that you can begin to take immediately. I want you to begin a daily emotional check-in. Remember, I said this is not the time to just begin to check only homework or how was your day. We need to begin to go deeper. How is your heart state today? How is your heart state today? How do you feel today? How did being in school make you feel? Right? How did engaging with this person make you feel? These are conversations that when you begin, your child begins to open up to you, especially if you have nurtured the bond you have with your child. And then another thing that I need you to begin to do immediately, as much as you can, is to also begin to share your story of resilience from your own life. One of the things that I really want us to begin to take really seriously is our stories. If you don't tell your stories, there are lessons there that the world can glean from, right? No experience is wasted. It may have been tough for you during that experience, but guess what? The lessons that lie in those experiences are tools that can bring people out of their own despair. They are tools that can strengthen other people on their journey, including your children. So feel free to share your story with them, your story of resilience. Oh, there was a time when I passed through this situation. This is what I did. This was what I did. Do you understand? So important. And then you also want to create a social opportunity. Yes, do that this week. Create a social opportunity outside school. We know that our children go to school, they mingle and everything with their friends, but just give them an opportunity, set them up to have an opportunity to interact away from the regular, people that they know and all of that. It could be you taking a walk, maybe to the park, if you have one close to you, and let them talk to other children as well. Oh, hello, my name is this and that. What do you do? What school do you go to? Right? Give them opportunities to relate with other people who are not the regulars, who are always around them, right? And then you want to assure your child, right? Assure your child and let them know that you're not pushing them to be perfect, right? But that you see that capability in them. Tell them that you're not pressuring them to be perfect, right? But you see that they have excellence in them. Let them know that if they try harder, if they put in their best efforts, they can actually do an excellent job. So while you're not, while you're not coming up straight to say you must be perfect, you must be perfect, but you are, it's just like overt and covert, right? You are you know that your intention is to actually push them to be excellent, but you're not saying it outrightly, right? You're not pressuring them to say you must give me straight A's, but you are nudging them, you are encouraging them, you are using the right languaging, you are using the right engaging with them, using the right mindset to say, you know what, I see excellence in you and I know that you can do this thing. This is so important. All right. So yes, we have come to the end of that, the end of the teaching on how to help your children thrive beyond their academics. Honestly, I want you to take time out to go over this video again. There are things that I have said that you may have missed, especially when we had the network glitch. But you see, I engage with parents, I engage with children, and I know what I hear. I know what I see. I know, cases that are before me. And I want to just encourage you not to take these things for granted. Take them seriously. Let your child not just thrive academically, let them be all rounders. Let them do your best to put them on the right path such that they are able to thrive beyond their academics as well. And you and I see the world that we're in today. It's not just about your academics. What skills do you have? How savvy are you when it comes to the skills, the soft skills, that are in demand today? This is so important. And so I would like to talk about this new program that I have. This is a signature program from my platform where we are helping parents in this 8-week program to raise confident and responsible children. See, without losing yourself. There are many parents who want to do this today, but they are second guessing themselves. Am I doing it right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being too hard on this child? See, all of those times that you're using to question yourself up and down can actually become energy that is diverted to the right place. So instead of asking, instead of second guessing yourself, for 8 weeks, we are in class together and I am taking you through the blueprint of raising wholesome children. Trust me, this is such a wholesome program. This is, in fact, I was looking at the curriculum and I'm like, oh my goodness, if only I had this when I just became a parent, right? So instead of going back and forth, you want to give this program a go, and honestly, you will be better for it. It's going for 45,000 naira now, which is rock bottom price, because honestly, the value that you are going to get from this program is way beyond this amount. I put it at this amount so that we can get parents to join, so that we can get a lot of parents to join, right? I have, other services, other ways to engage with me that are really, really premium. But you see this one, this is a wholesome, value-packed program at 45,000 naira. So I want you to scan the QR code. Just take a screenshot of this slide, scan the QR code to read more about the program, or you can send me a message. You can send me a DM if you follow me on social media, or if you follow me on WhatsApp. Just send a message so that you can get to know how you can be a part of this program. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the highlights of this program is that, when you parent emotionally, your results can be inconsistent. But when you parent with systems, you realize that you actually know what you're doing. You are able to replicate what you're doing over and over again. So this is one program that will help you put those systems in place. This is one program that will take you from where you are now to where you really need to be as somebody who wants to raise a wholesome and well balanced child in today's world. So I look forward to seeing you in that program. Scan the QR code to get more details about the program. So thank you so much. Please, I need to see your questions in the chat. If you have questions, I want you to put them in the chat so that we can take a look at them. Let's see your questions in the chat. Our time is fast spent, but I want you to drop your questions in the chat. And even if you go on to watch the replay, or even after this live stream ends, you can still, just put your questions in the chat. I will pick them and we would give you the answers to the questions. I don't want to take your time further. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope to see you again. If you are not in our community, the Winning Parent Network, I want you to, just signify either in the chat or just leave a message on the WhatsApp that you got the link to this meeting from, and we will give you the details as to how to be a part of the network. Thank you so much. You can follow me on social media at Winning in Parenting on Facebook, Instagram. On LinkedIn, it is Sandra Oluwadare. And on YouTube, of course, it is Winning in Parenting. I hope you got value from this session. I hope you got value. Let me see in the comments if you got value from this session. Thank you so much. You can go on to share the video as well, even after now. Share it with other parents. Do well to share it with them. Help another parent to get this information by sharing it with them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again another time. Bye for now.